Hello everybody, True Marvis here, your 3 million G gamer. Welcome to another True Plays. Today we are going to have a look at AEW Fight Forever on Xbox Series X. The game comes out on the 29th of June 2023. It's published by THQ Nordic and developed by wrestling legendary developer Yuke's, who, if you had played a wrestling game in the PS1 era, PS2 era, and up until right near the end, the Xbox 360 era, PS3 era, you would have played a Yuke's wrestling game where they did all these SmackDown Know Your Roles, Here Comes the Pain. I think they did like the N64 ones, No Mercy, stuff like that. If you played a WWE wrestling game, you would have more than likely played a Yuke's wrestling game. So yeah, they returned to the wrestling genre that they made an awful lot of money off of with AEW Fight Forever. Now, price-wise, you are looking at in the US, you're looking at $59.99 for the regular edition and $79.99 for the Elite edition. Euros the same. Pounds, it's $49.99 for the regular and $69.99 for the Elite edition. And the Elite edition, for what I can tell from the marketing material, is you get access to 6 more wrestlers, I think it is, and 6 more mini games. But we'll come to that momentarily. You may notice, you may be thinking this review is very silent. Where's the music? This is the problem. The review notes that I have for this basically says that I can't show you any pre-recorded video footage, hence I hastily skipped the introduction that came up there, because that's copyrighted. And I have to avoid any copyrighted licensed music. Sadly, the game doesn't tell me what's copyrighted music and what's not. And also, I just need to get this out there because it's a frustration when it comes to this. It makes it very difficult and very hard to to cover this. Basically, I have removed every song from the song library in an effort to just play sound effects during the game. And even though I have removed everything, it's still playing all the music for introductions and other things and other parts of the game. And the wrestlers use licensed music. Now, I don't know what's licensed music here or what's not licensed music. Do you know what I mean? So literally, as a nuclear option, and the only way to avoid DMCAs coming out the wazoo, there'll be no game audio for the process of this video. If other people have managed to get game audio in it, well, good luck to them, but I'm not risking my channel due to tight-ass video developers not paying for restream rights of music, which is something that they need to do going forward. Because streamers, YouTubers, content creators, we're giving you free marketing. And you make things very difficult. And when you pay your multi-million-pound companies, and the future is streaming, the future is content creation. Traditional marketing is dead in the water. You need to pay for restream rights. You need to. Or if you don't want to do that, there needs to be an option here as other games have done, I'll quote the recent Saints Row game, for example. You can tick a box that removes all licensed music and then just plays music I'm allowed to play. It's annoying and frustrating. So bear in mind, if anybody is going to buy this game for streaming, you're going to have a nightmare problem with this game. There's a good chance you'll get pulled up on it because there's a lot of stuff. And even if you remove everything from the song library, it still plays the music. So anyway, that out of the way, I did have a hour and a half deep dive into the game before I realized that in a little obscure corner of the marketing, the review notes, that it said not, what about the licensed music. So we're just going to have a quick look at it now. And it really puts a knock on doing a Road to the Elite run as I was going to do, because it still plays licensed music and video packages. I can't show you that. I can't show you the video package. I can't even flick on an ad screen. If I flick on an ad screen, I could get DMCA'd. It's annoying. It's made this very problematic, and before I even get into review, I just want to vent how difficult that is, because if this is being passed on to the marketing people, you need to think this through. Seriously. Anyway, on to the game. We have several modes available. We have exhibition mode, which, as you imagine, you can set up a match. You have an online mode where you can play ranked matches, casual matches, and private matches. So if you're into leaderboards, you can match up with people and compete on the leaderboards. Casual obviously won't affect leaderboards, and private obviously is if you want to match up with a friend. Custom is to create a wrestler. You can create a wrestling stable or team. You can also create an arena. I will quickly gloss over the Road to the Elite because I can't show you that at all because it's got video packages in. But that's your basic story mode. I've played the story mode. I played some of the story mode, and it's probably the best. Well, it's the best mode to play in all honesty. And then we have challenges. You have daily challenges which refresh obviously daily, and for that you earn AEW cash. So one of them are simply defeat an opponent with a certain wrestler. Other one to perform certain moves. Obviously, there's a bit of encouragement to do online ones there as well. We also have weekly challenges, which are a bit more in depth. Defeat 10 opponents with Matt Hardy. Defeat 10 with certain characters. Get a match score because you get rated, like a Dave Meltzer kind of thing. You get rated on stars and a points value. Play 15 online matches, win 10 online, and then you've got normal ones, which are just obviously built into the game, and they're just doing an awful lot of stuff like playing 500 matches and 50 single matches with each wrestler, such as that. And with that AEW cash, you spend it in the shop, where you can buy new apparel, poses, clothes. There's not an awful lot to buy, in all honesty. You can buy arena stuff, arena fixtures and fittings. You can even buy horses and dogs and weird stuff. Yeah. You can buy knights. You can buy moves for your creator wrestler mode. You can buy entrance poses and walks. And you can even unlock more wrestlers. You can unlock Cody Rhodes, who you have to buy. Who's not even in AEW anymore and hasn't been for some time. More on that later. You've got Aubrey Edwards, the referee. You have 2 different skins for Matt and Nick Jackson, and you have a different skin for Britt Baker. And that's basically shop mode. So let's jump in the exhibition first of all. As I say, apologies once again for no sound or anything. You have your standard stuff here of 1v1 matches, 2v2, 3-way matches are triple threat. 4-way matches, basically fatal 4-ways, as if you play the other brands of game. Casino Battle Royale is basically Royal Rumble mode, kind of, with a twist. It revolves around suits of cards. You can play team. There's a team mode as well, where you're a group of 5 wrestlers, and as long as one of your team is the last man standing, last man in the ring, you win. We have an exploding barbed wire death match, which is a gimmick match that AEW did run on one occasion, I believe it is. And it had a spectacularly infamous flop ending. If you don't know what I mean, look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious. The whole ring was supposed to explode at the end, and it was like somebody had pulled a Christmas cracker. It didn't work. So it was quite funny. We got a ladder match, then we've got mini games, and then we got training. Okay. Problem we have, and this will be a common theme throughout this review. You go on one-on-one, you will notice a conspicuous lack of choices. We literally have normal, which is, well, normal. Lights out, which is basically unsanctioned hardcore matches, so you can hit people with weapons. Okay, and then we've got false count anywhere. That's literally it. There's no cage matches. There's no cage matches. There's no table matches. There's no backstage brawls. There's no submission matches. There's no Iron Man matches. They could have even done a dog collar match, because they did a dog collar match with CM Punk. That's not there. A distinct lack of match types. 2-on-2, you don't even get to choose a match type, so you can't even choose from those basic 3 options with 2-on-2. Same with 3-way, 4-way. 4-way you can't choose. 4-way is just literally, yeah, set for 1 fall. I always like playing the 4-way matches where it's elimination. So you have to eliminate the remainder of the wrestlers, not just the 1 fall to a finish. Casino Battle Royale, as I say, I will quickly show you the setup. So you've got solo suit, and you've got, so if it's solo, it's basically like a Royal Rumble. Group suit is slightly different. You choose a suit of cards, basically like this, and then you can set up a team of 5 wrestlers, and you'll come in at regular intervals, and as long as one of your wrestlers is the last person standing in the ring, without being tossed over the top rope, you will win, basically. The problem with that mode is it seems to be limited to 4 wrestlers max in the ring, which is not very good. And the exploding barbed wire death match is basically a straight wrestling match, just that the ring explodes after a certain amount of time and does massive damage to you. And if you bump into the ropes and various other things, you get an explosion. Ladder match, self-explanatory, as my batteries are running low. Mini games. I haven't locked many of these yet, but apparently the more you go through Road to the Elite mode, the more of these you unlock. Chip gatherers, you basically run around the ring collecting chips. Pop quiz is basically a quiz. You just choose answers pressing the face buttons. And Penta Says was a really weird Simon Says game, which I couldn't get to work properly. But there's a lot more mini games available once you do the Road to Elite mode. Training is, as it says, it's basically like training any other fighting game where you can set a default com player to either stand there, do certain stuff like defend and stuff, and you can just practice your moves to your heart's content on it, just to get better at the game. Anyway, I'm going to jump into a match just to show you a match going. Like I say, apologies for no sound effects, because there's music throughout all this, and say what's copyrighted and what's not. We're going to play as Dustin Rhodes, and we will Oh, you can do men v women as well. It picked Chris Statlander as random, so let's go with Chris Statlander. Okay, so you may notice that the character select screen is they look well. I'll cover that in a minute. I like how it does this little introduction, but this is music playing. Could be licensed music. So unfortunately, you guys can't hear this. But these are very curtailed entrances. Now, you could say that's a good thing or a bad thing. For me, I'm not too bothered because let's just refer to the other wrestling game, other wrestling series. I skip the introductions after a while. I'll turn them off entirely. So basically, what we've got, how the wrestling works: X is punch, Y is kick, A is grapple. And you press the direction buttons, and you will do different kinds of grapples. And if you grapple them on the ground, you'll do different kinds of things depending on where you're located on the body part, etc. B is run, which I find very awkward, and I always find it awkwardly whenever you know the ropes, run to the ropes, it automatically seems to climb you out. If you hold the B button, it'll climb you out, but you see if you want to run against the ropes, you've got to just tap the B button once. To block and reverse moves, you use your bumper buttons. I always get it mixed up. It's left bumper blocks, I think, grapples, and right bumper blocks strikes. There you go. That was a reversal. That red pulse. If you press the left trigger near the turnbuckle, you climb up on it, and then you can choose A, X, Y to jump off. Oh, she did an air defense on me, an anti-air on me. So I've not managed to pull that off yet. An anti-air. I think the instruction's wrong or my timing's woeful. Probably the latter, to be honest with you. So apologies, you're not hearing any sound effects here, but like I say, there's music playing throughout this match, so. Who knows? But the matches themselves actually play out quite fun. They are fun to play. There's really nice touches on it. I'll show you something. Right, if you climb over the ropes here, look, if you press, this is something I've never seen in a wrestling game before. Like, hopefully she'll run at me. Go and run at me. Don't taunt. Run at me. She's not running at me. Oh, there we go. Look, you pull the ropes and they go flying over the ropes. That's good. I like that a lot. That's pretty much it for the wrestling. It's a very streamlined, but does have a little bit of hidden depth in it as well. You have to really go into, I mean, the move list here. Every wrestler seems to have these basic actions here. And then you've got obviously your finishing conditions. It tells you what you've got to grapple from the front or back or whatever. But if you're also going to risk participant, that I think this should be in the same list as moves list. If you go to participant, it actually shows you the stats of the wrestler when you press skill details. So this is actually the ratings. For me, this should have been on the character select screen because you notice they were conspicuous by their absence, that there wasn't any stats there. Like in the other wrestling game, the wrestlers are rated, aren't they? So these are your stats, basically. RB, you got action skills. These are like special skills that each wrestler has. Now, some of them only have a few, like poor Dustin Rhodes here only has 2. But some of them have loads of these, like the anti-air that Chris Statlander just did. That's press A against an incoming diving springboard opponent. You can guard break, so you have like a super like hard punch or attack. Desperation impulse enables using desperation attack. So basically, when you're in a danger state, if you press R while on the ground, you'll do desperation move. You can like do kick ups. You can steal the opponent's finisher, but only if these are ticked for each wrestler. And without selecting the wrestler and going into this screen, you don't know which wrestler's got which skills. Again, this should have been all shown on the character select screen or some way to access it, in my opinion. And then we've got passive skills as well. Again, depending on the wrestler, they can have, you know, a few of these or loads of these, the stronger the wrestler is. And obviously Chris Statlander will have her own. She's actually got more skills than Chris Statlander's actually rated higher than Dustin Rhodes on this. And as you can see, she's got 6 passive skills and 6 action skills, where Dustin has only got 2 and 6 respectively. Anyway, back onto the game. What else can I tell you about the flow of the matches? You can actually fight outside the ring as well, and there's a count, and certain wrestlers can climb on the barriers. Dustin can't, unfortunately, so I can't show you that. But you can smash these barriers as well. These do smash. Oh, she's throwing back into the ring. I say certain wrestlers can jump on them and do springboard attacks off of them as well. And the other thing is signatures and finishers. That is handled by the bar you see at the bottom. You see, like Chris Statlander's is green. Green's the worst rate. Well, blue's the worst rating because it means you're in danger. But it goes from blue to green to yellow to an orange yellow, which is mine's at now. And if we do a few more moves on her, it should change to the words. It's got a deeper orange. It should come up with signature in a minute. Okay, now we're on a signature. So unless you know what the character's signature is, you'd have to go to participants and have a look. So his signature is code red. Grapple from the front and grapple from the front, right? Signature moves you do by grappling and then oddly pressing the D-pad. And finishes you get into the finishing condition and move the right stick. It's a very weird way of doing it. So like if I grapple her now from the front, let's pick her up, grapple from the front and D-pad. This is his signature move. There we go. And to turn a signature into a finisher, you have to taunt, which is just moving the right stick, and it says special. So then if we, oh, she's gonna mess it up, isn't she? She's gonna mess this up for the video. Don't mess it up for the video, please. Ah, she blocked me. She's messing it up for the video, guys. Ah, she messed it up. I lost my special. Why did you not cooperate, Chris Statlander? Anyhow, let's get this match finished, and then we'll go into a few other things. Oh, okay, I completed a challenge. Yay is me. She's nearly got her signature. Just want to do the finisher. Right, got signature, torn. And there we go, finisher. If you press LB while you're doing the finisher, that's going to rope break down. See if we can get a pin. And there we go. There's the match. So yeah, the matches are fun, which is important. Very important. Because unfortunately for me, this is where the fun kind of ends. But it is good that the main focus of the game, i.e. the wrestling, is good. Okay, so we all know video games take a long time to develop. So any sporting title like this, even the other wrestling game, we know the roster cannot be up to date. We accept that. That's fine. Now, anybody who's been following this game closely or semi-closely or just waiting for it to come out would have seen it being getting pushed back and back on the release schedule for various reasons. It was apparently due to the blood and the ratings board or something. Whether that's true or not, it's inconsequential. The problem we've got is that this game has took a hell of a lot of time to come out. Now, this roster would have been out of date a year ago. Let alone now. So this is essentially a roster from 2 years ago, near enough, with some characters, some wrestlers shoehorned in. Because like Abidon, brilliant wrestler, not featured on television for, well, I can't remember the last time they were on television. Adam Cole's been with the company just over a year. Cage has just recently returned to the company, but you just look at the roster, and other things go to prove this as well. Cody Rhodes has been with the WWE for over a year now. He's still in this game. I think the most recent addition to the roster in terms of real life timeline is Jeff Hardy. And this brings up another point, which I'll go back to as well. Lance Archer, very rarely seen. Miro's been out of action for a year, just come back just recently. Scorpio Sky's just come back recently. These are my creator wrestlers. which are pretty decent, actually. Yuka Sasaki. Last time seen, God knows when. But if we just break this down, you've got about 50 wrestlers here. You've got a team tab, which basically just gives you some teams. It's like Dark Order's more than those two. Dark Order is a bigger group of people than that. Inner Circle's not been the Inner Circle for over a year. And there was more than that in the Inner Circle. This is another thing as well, right? Just to show you the age of it and the oddities of it as well. Now, when you play a champion in exhibition mode, if you win, you take the belt off them. So originally, Thunder Rosa is the world champion for the women, as per default. The odd thing you've got here is Thunder Rosa's not been the champion for ages. In fact, we've had an interim title reign that got moved to proper title reign. Then with Toni Storm, then Jamie Hayter held the title, and then Toni Storm has just recently won it back. So, out of date, yeah? The odd thing is, though, they must have gone back in and changed it to MJF as being the champion. Because MJF is the current world champion. but he wouldn't have been world champion at the same time Thunder Rosa was world champion. This isn't Thunder Rosa, by the way, that's Anna Jay, because I say I've won an exhibition match with her. Same as tag team champions. The Young Bucks haven't been tag team champions for ages. We've had loads of tag team champions since then. We've had Keith Lee and Swerve, who aren't even in the game. We've had the Acclaimed, which don't seem to be in the game. FTR, who aren't even in the game, although they will be. It's odd. Darby Allin was TNT champion early on, lost it, did regain it ever so briefly. Jade Cargill just recently lost the TBS championship, so we can allow for that one. But it's even got the FTW belt in there, and that's got Ricky Starks. Hooks hold that title for over a year. It's out of date, severely out of date, not just normal out of date that we expect, severely out of date. Also, we're missing the International Championship, and we're missing the Trios Championship. Where is that? Now, if we go into the roster, you can basically see what's kind of happened here. Like Adam Cole, a year to 18 months has been in the company. Wouldn't have been in the company when the game first started being developed. But you can just tell, because if you have a look, if you go through these character models, they're like they've been done by totally different teams at times. Because look at that to that. Yeah, look at Jericho, looks a bit weird. Cage looks horrendous. Chuck Taylor looks brilliant. CM Punk looks weird. Dustin Rhodes is really good. Darby Allin's good. Cody Rhodes is just bizarre. Eddie Kingston, no. This is the best. This is the best one. This is the most recent addition in terms of real life timeline, so it would have been shoehorned in last. Look at that. Compared to that, Jeff Hardy is good, really good. John Silver, I mean, yeah. Kenny Omega, yeah. Jungle Boy, Moxley, Lance Archer again not being. Luchasaurus doesn't wear green anymore, he wears red. Malachi Black, where's the rest of the House of Black? You know, one of the biggest overstables in AEW at the moment. You're missing the other two members, over three members if you count Julia Hart as well. It's bizarre. And look at the difference. Miro doesn't look like that. Matt Jackson looks great. But what they've done to Nick Jackson, I don't know. Nick, if you ever see this video, mate, I think Kenny was overseeing the development of this. I think you need to have words with him. I think he pulled a joke on you. It's just, you don't look like that. Parker looks weird. I mean, Sammy Guevara. Just look up these names of these people and compare them. Now, some of the in-game character models look a lot better when you get there, but it just is so weird. And the women's side's even worse because the women, I mean, you have to unlock Aubrey Edwards, who's not even a wrestler. So out of date, missing so many people. And like I say, people who have been around for a year and 18 months. Like, was it Sky Blue, Willow Nightingale you're missing? You're missing Saraya, you're missing Tony Storm. You're actually missing the current world champion, who was world champion a while ago as well. You're missing Jamie Hayter. You're missing actually the last three world champions. Admittedly, that is two people. But you're missing the last three world champions from the roster here. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's the roster concerns out the way. So that's the roster problems. The roster's bare bones and out of date, in my opinion. There's no Keith Lee. There's no Swerve Strickland. There's no... oh, excuse me. No Keith Lee. No Swerve Strickland. No... Even characters going from way back, like ones that are very underused, like Jack Swagger, for example. No, it's not Jack Swagger, is it? Jake Hagar. Jack Swagger was his WWE name. It's just bizarre because, like I say, even if this had come out when it was due to come out originally, it would have been a severely out of date roster. It's bizarre, and as I say, the amount of wrestlers that are missing is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Off the top of my head, wrestlers, I mean, female side, you're missing like the Bunny, for example. Where's Athena? Male side, where's the Guns? Where's Billy Gunn? You're missing Wheeler Yuta. You're missing Claudio. I believe there is some unlockable characters, so some of these may appear in there. You're missing Buddy Matthews from the House of Black, for example. The Guns, Danhausen, you're missing. Daniel Garcia, you're missing the Martins. FTR is one of the DLC characters, the Season Pass characters. More on that a bit later. Ethan Page missing. Hook's missing, but he's DLC as well. Jake Hagar, as I said. Jamie Hayter. Jay Lethal. Missing like Jay Lethal. Julia Hart from House of Black, you're missing. Keith Lee. Takeshita, he might probably be a bit too new. Even ones we haven't seen for quite a while, like Kyle O'Reilly. It's just bizarre. It's just weird. It's such an out-of-date roster. As I say, that the Inner Circle is no longer Inner Circle. Some of the members moved over to the JAS. And what this means a lot of nonsense to a lot of people who won't know any of who these people are and such. But, you know, it's... We know the roster can't be up to date, but there's been out of date and there's been like, you know, dinosaur level. Anyway, so to me, the roster's bare bones and out of date. The match types are bare bones. It'll be a common theme. Create a wrestler. We're going to create a wrestler mode. And I want to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. So just, you know, a brief overview of these modes. I just need to get it off my chest what it is. Because it's a crying shame because the actual game, the actual wrestling portion of the game is actually fun. So the wrestling here, this goes for both male and female. So we're just going to go into one. Again, it's bare bones. Look at the face types. Look at how few we have. Look at how few we have. Eyes. Look at that. 4 different eye types. Again, look. 5. Hairstyles. Look at the hairstyles. What's that? 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 hairstyles. Facial hair, we have even less. Ring attire. we know how much options the other game has, don't we? Right, headwear. Generic country ones. There's not really much there, is there? Glasses, look at that. Nothing. Masks, nothing. Some you have to buy with currency. Accessories. That's it. Face paint. That's it. 1 page worth of face paint. Scars. Actual clothing. Look at this. Wow, that's a lot of options, isn't it? Where's the Can I not wear anything on my upper torso as a male performer? Accessories. We got scarves. It's like... Oh, well, all right. The wrestling shorts. We have literally, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, we've got country flags, so they don't really count. I mean, it's there, but it's basic. It's so basic. I can't say this for sure, but if you probably went back to the first SmackDown game on PS1, you'll probably have more options than this. Full bodysuits. We have a massive 8 to choose from, 7 to choose, whatever, 9. And none of them actually very inspiring, are they? Do you know what I mean? It's like it is there, but it's basic. It just makes me wonder what they've been doing with all the development time. I honestly don't think they've been doing a lot. Now, if this was a budget title, I would probably let them off, or be a bit. Well, I wouldn't let them off, but I'd be a little bit more lenient. But they're not. They're asking full whack for this. Near enough. It's almost a full price title. Picture of the Acclaim there, or not, seemingly not in the game. I have to skip over Road to Elite because I'll get DMCA'd. Team is pretty much same. You just basically yeah. Just member 1, member 2, move sets, entrance scenes, finalize. You know, pretty much same stuff. Same with the arenas. Create your own arenas. I think you basically pick that as a template, and then... But once again, though, this is the thing. You see that you're limited. It's again, it's there, but it's limited to what you can do. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yes, it's there, so we can tick it off as a feature, but we've not developed that feature at all. That's literally the feeling you get with this entire game. And to me, the amount of wrestlers that AEW have on their books, they have a very expansive roster. As I say, the wrestlers that we do have are very, very out of date. Most of the guys who are on TV at the moment have been on TV solely for about a year, and a lot of them are missing. You can see which ones have been shoehorned in as they've been signed and stuff. Now, on a final note, before we go to the summary of everything, If we just go back to the roster, if you count what you get from the start of the game, and I'm going to compare this what it says. So we'll just go to all. So we've got three, right? Three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. 15 times 3 is 45. 15 times 3 is 45. So it's 46 wrestlers. These two are my created wrestlers. So, yeah, 45. 46 wrestlers to choose from. Might seem a huge amount. It's not really, considering. I do believe there's unlockable ones. So we're just going to jump out the game and we're just going to see if it actually mentions in the marketing material how many wrestlers we actually get. Talent roster combines 50 plus, it says. So there is a few to unlock. I mean, bear in mind, I had to buy Cody Rhodes and Aubrey Edwards, who's not really a wrestler, she's a referee. So just say 50 plus. But I think it's probably just going to be over 50 plus. Now, final thing before we get onto the summary. This is what I don't like. Really don't like. This is the Elite Edition, yeah? So if you pre-order, you get Matt Hardy, yeah? This includes the season pass for more money, yeah? Season pass, which you seemingly can't buy separate. Now, the season pass includes FTR, who are the current World Tag Team Champions. So you get Dax Howard and Cash Wheeler, and you get 2 minigames. I didn't cover the minigames today. Honestly, the minigames are not very good. We'll have a quick look in a second. You then get the bizarre combination of the Bunny, who's a female wrestler, and Keith Lee. Don't know why they're matched together. Very weird. And you get 2 more minigames. And then you get Danhausen and Hook. So that's 6 wrestlers that have been excluded from the game who should have been in the game originally. You're asking people to buy this game at almost full price, almost full retail as a AAA title would be. And then you've basically ripped out 6 wrestlers who should have been in there to start off with. There should have been these 6 wrestlers in there, plus more. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There's not enough on the roster as it is, and you've already paywalled 6 other wrestlers, and probably more to come. Not a good move, in my opinion. These are the mini games. I've only unlocked 3 of them at the moment. There is a plethora of more of them, but I'm just going to choose anybody just so we get into a game as quick as possible. But this is the kind of thing. These hold my attention for literally one play, and then I don't want to play them ever again. They add nothing of value to me. I mean, this one you're just supposed to run around fighting, but also collecting chips. I mean, this is what we're looking at. I mean, to me, this is... No, it's just not what I want from a wrestling game. I understand this is a more arcadey take on wrestling, but still, this is taking it too far, and it doesn't play very well either. That's the most important thing. I mean, I can barely bloody move here. I'm just getting bombed and... Why can I not move? Apparently I won. That's basically that game. This other one unlocked is this one. I just don't want to. I choose 5 people again. Don't auto select. Yes, there we go. I didn't notice that. This game I didn't understand. I would say I did understand what you got to do, but I just don't get the timing of it. Is just mental. Oh, look at this. Did I do a winning? I say once I play this, I don't want to play this ever again. It's like... And that's that. And the other one is just a quiz. It just gives you a question and you just choose an answer. It's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's just bizarre. So, in summary, I love the in-ring wrestling action. It's fun. And if that's all you're bothered about, this is great. It's a great alternative to the other wrestling game. It's fun to play. There's a lot of hidden depth in it, even though it seems very simplistic. There's some really cool features in it. Just like, say, the rope pull, things such as that. There's other kind of like hidden things in there. That's great. I have no qualms with the arcade wrestling type at all. I mean, if you think about the other wrestling games that came out, we did get a brief... We got an arcade one come out a few years back. This is better than that by a country mile for the in-ring action. Problem is, everything else, it has the features there, but those features are severely lacking in everything. We're lacking match types, basic match types. We're lacking roster. And what roster is there is severely out of date. We're lacking in custom mode. We're lacking literally choices. It's the most basic of character creation there is. And most of the options for costumes and stuff are lazy, generic country flag attire. There's been no thought of designing things. I mean, you go to the other wrestling game, the amount of options you have available there, I don't expect it to be as in-depth as that, but we're not talking like where you can layer things on layer things on layer things. This is basically the one and only top layer that you've got. There's nothing to choose from. Unless you want to wear an outfit with your country's flag on. That's basically it. Very limited. Road to the Elite is fun. I can't really show you it because I'll be DMCA'd out my backside. Because there's video footage in that as well as music, and I'm basically been told already any video footage in the game is DMCA'd, is copyrighted, so I can't show you any of that mode. I was literally going to do a full episodic playthrough of that mode. Obviously I'm not now because I don't want to be, it's just going to take far too much effort and work. You need to, if you're wanting, again, going back to my original point at the start of the video, if you're wanting this free publicity from streamers and content creators, you need to make your game friendly towards them doing that. They're not going to risk their channels, their livelihoods, just to promote your game. It's the simple fact. So the Road to Elite mode is good. And obviously, because it's good, because it mainly encompasses the matches, which is the best part of the game. The challenges are a neat little thing to work towards to earn money, but again, in the shop, as you can see in the shop, there's not an awful lot to buy. Basically, it's basic stuff. I mean, I could probably buy all this out right now if I wanted to. Like, I've got like 140,000. I could just basically just skip through and buy everything and be done with it. And I've just basically bought the entire bottom row near enough, and I've still got 100,000 to go. Want to be a French maid? There you go. Should just be a buy all. There you go. Look, I'm buying everything. So as I say, in summary, it's out of date, severely out of date on release, and it just literally like they've ticked a features box, but then forgot to fill it in. Say, yes, we've got to create. You can create a wrestler, but you ain't got a lot of options with that wrestler. But you can create one. You can create an arena, but you know there's not a lot you can do with it. In all honesty, but you can create one. So we've ticked that box off. You know what I mean? It's. And for the amount of time it was in development limbo as well, it's like, and this is what they've come out with. It's disappointing. But pleased to say, the main game, the main focus, the wrestling is good. Everything else is just severely bare bones. So just be prepared. I don't think this is honestly worth the asking price, and I think, frankly, the Elite Edition is a complete insult. What is in the Elite Edition should be in the Standard Edition, and then the Standard Edition should be cheaper. It should be cheaper by $20, £20. This is a $29.99 title, in my opinion, or a $24.99 title if you're in the UK. It doesn't warrant more than that. Arguably, it's worth less than that because, again, you got in a very out-of-date title. If you're expecting to see the stars that you're watching on television, I mean, if somebody had just come to AEW this week and thought, oh, there's an AEW game out, I'm going to go buy it, and they got this, they'll be wondering who half these people are. They seriously were, and they'll then be scratching their head where all the people on that they've been watching on the TV, where are they? So yeah, it's just the wrestling portion is good. Everything else is just bare bones and undercooked, and doesn't offer anything of value, in my opinion. And I say the game's overpriced, needs to be a lot cheaper. So if you are intending to pick this up, I would definitely wait for this to be in a sale, guys. And developers, if you are watching the video, I will reiterate again, if you're wanting content creators to stream your game and market your game for you, you need to make it friendly for them to do so. You really do. Because having all this copyrighted stuff in there, you need to pay for restream rights or rebroadcast rights for streamers and content creators to do that. Otherwise, or include streamer modes, which will disable all of that stuff at the tick of a box. So then I don't have to record this video with no sound effects, no music, pussyfoot around certain modes which show video footage. It's ridiculous the amount of hoops I have to jump through. And it's basically going to prevent me from making more content because I'm not prepared to run the risk every time I upload a video to do that. It's a basic feature. Other titles have done it. They've put an option there to turn off copyrighted material. Why couldn't you have done it? And do you know what the I think what the most ironic thing is? I just need to just check my information here. I think, please be the right one. No, it's not. Okay, forget what I was going to say. So yeah, summary. Wrestling portion's good. Rest of it is bare bones, undercooked. Plus the wrestling roster is completely out of date, and the Elite Edition is an insult. Definite. Wait for at least 50% sale on this one. Not what the developers want to hear, but at least the wrestling portion's fun. I'll see you in the next one.